Let me set the scene. So you have a stack of papers on your desk of things that you have to get to. You have a bunch of sticky notes of important reminders. You have random to-dos buzzing in your head like a bunch of mosquitoes that you can't catch. Does that sound familiar? Or is it just me? Please don't let it just be me. Hey you guys, my name is Catherine. I'm super excited that you guys clicked on this video. I get to inspire you guys. I get to share some self-growth tips and be included in your self-improvement journey. Like, what a blessing. I am so grateful for this opportunity. This is my application to be your new self-improvement coach. Okay, as a welcome gift, in the description, you're gonna find a few links to my website, which you guys can get some freebies. I have a journal on there. I have a habit tracker. I have a checklist to build the life that you want. And then if you guys also want to follow along on my socials, I'm currently doing a level up challenge. You guys should definitely go check that out. Spoiler, today we are diving into how to make 2025 the best year yet. Because 2024, 2023, it was all about healing. It was all about processing those emotions. It was about really finding ourselves, and now I feel like 2025 is really about taking action. It's about being disciplined. So I'm going to be sharing with you how to be productive without the stress that comes with it. Whenever I think of productivity, I'm just like,
I have to work. I have to actually do something that I don't want to do. I have to focus. I can't watch Netflix. Why is life so hard?
And y'all, I struggle with this, okay? I really do. So your girl is trying to develop these new skills this year that are going to help me not struggle as much. And I know a lot of us struggle with it. So I'm like, let me share with my peeps, okay? Because I got y'all. So I've been reading this book, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. I highly recommend if you struggle with organization, productivity, this is gonna be your book. Like, the amount of highlights in this book is insane because every little thing that he says, it's like, wow, makes so much sense. Like, my life is gonna be so much easier because of this. I'm still working on it, but I definitely want to share what I have learned so far, how I'm applying it into my life, and why this method that I'm gonna share with you today might just transform the way that you work and maybe even motivate you to actually start on that side hustle that you've been wanting to start, or do whatever it is that you got roaming around in your head of what to do. Starting with chapter 1, it introduces the idea of new practice for a new reality. He writes, your ability to generate power is directly proportional to your ability to relax. I don't know about you, but this idea that productivity and relaxation can coexist, where do I sign up? And the methods that I'm going to share with you today really focus on two things. Number one is capturing all things that need to get done now, later, or someday, big or small, into a trusted system outside of your head and off your mind. Number two is disciplining yourself to make front-end decisions about all the inputs you let into your life with the plan for next action. A lot of us are so busy. I know some people are going to be watching this and be like, girl, you're like the busiest girl I know. We have so much to handle all of the time, and we feel like we don't have enough time to get everything done. We have our job, we have cooking, we have cleaning, we have family time, we have hitting the gym, we have starting our side hustle, we have saving money, we have our relationships, all those responsibilities, and there's only one of us. They didn't think this through, did they? To be honest, the hard truth is we just overcommit ourselves a lot of times, and we're also very distracted. I mean, right now in this generation, we are the most distracted out of all the generations because of this dude, our cellular device, that guy. It's his fault. So let me ask you, what would life look like, feel like, taste like, all of the feelings, if you dedicated 100% of your attention to whatever is in your hands? At your own choosing, no distractions. Possible? I think so. So I need you to make a commitment to yourselves that by the end of this video, the method that I'm going to share with you, you are going to commit to it at least for 1 week and see how you feel about it. But please, you deserve to live a stress-free life. You deserve to also be productive at the same time and get the things that you want to get done. Let's make a pinky promise, guys. And the book really talks about this simile called mind like water. So let's say you throw a pebble in the pond. how is the water going to respond? The answer is appropriate to the force and the mass of the input. And then after all that, it's going to return to a calm state. I hope you guys don't hear my dog right now chugging her water, because why? All right, she finished her business. Anything that causes you to overreact or underreact can control you, and often does. So when was the last time that you felt your most productive self? You were feeling like you got so much done, you felt so efficient, so effective, you felt high on energy, you had a sense of control, you were highly focused, time felt like it just disappeared. Do you want more of that? This is the method for you. Before we get into the good stuff, we need to talk about the bad stuff, okay? The things that are going up here. So all of those to-dos that you just have floating around your head all day, every day. And in the book, it talks about open loops. These are your incompletes in your mind. These open loops, these to-dos, these thoughts that you have are grabbing your attention somewhere that it doesn't belong. Where your attention deserves to go is in the present, okay? What are you doing right now? What is in your hands? Because anything else that's going on up here, it's wasting your energy when you can be using that energy on something more important. And number two, it's not productive because you're not getting anything done. Here is an exercise that is going to show you how quickly this can be resolved. I want you to get a piece of paper and you are going to write down a project or a situation that is most on your mind at this moment. Something that is constantly bugging you, distracts you, that interests you, something that you're curious about. What is consuming most of your conscious attention right now? Maybe it's a vacation, a conversation, a habit. Describe in a sentence what is your intended outcome for this problem or situation. What would need to happen next for you to be like, check, this is done? Is it you gotta book that cruise? Is it that you gotta read this book? Is it that you need to handle this situation with X person? Is it that you need to implement this new habit? You have to learn about this new skill, maybe clarify this side hustle. Then you're gonna write down what is the physical action that you need to take. If you had nothing else to do right now, what would you do? Would you send an email? Would you call that person? You sit down with a pen and paper and brainstorm? Would you watch an educational YouTube video? Would you buy some nails at the store? Now, once you do that, you should be experiencing some sense of relief, some sense of peace and control. And you may be asking yourself, what just happened? And what happened is that now you have a clear definition of the outcome that you desire and the next action that is required. We just did what the book talks about, that is called knowledge work. You have officially determined what your next task needs to be instead of waiting and thinking about it. You have to think about your stuff more than you realize, but not as much as you're afraid you might. So a lot of us are not taught this skill. I mean, we don't really have to think about our work because it's already done for us. Ever since we're little, it's already set how we're going to be dressed to school, how we're gonna look, what are we gonna be learning, what is gonna be our homework. All we have to do is follow what we are told. And it's not until we're actually adults, life just smacks us in the face and is like, you gotta figure it out now. We can't just expect the tasks to just become. Like, we actually have to think about what is gonna be the next action, what is gonna be the outcome that we want, in order for us to stop stressing, okay? Because stress comes from our thinking. You know what's wild about our mind? It will keep on reminding you that you need to do these things because it thinks that you're supposed to be doing them right now. Because the thing is, our mind becomes this system of holding on to all of the things that we have to do on top of everything else that we're thinking every single day. And we have to put it into a system that is going to help us keep our thoughts and our to-dos organized instead of using all of our creative energy that we have thinking and thinking and thinking. Mental stress is real, y'all. It's easier to act yourself into a better way of feeling than to feel yourself into a better way of action. Now let's get into the juicy stuff, friends, okay? How do we actually get control of our life? First things first, in order to get the most out of this and be as effective as possible, you are gonna need to set up a time and a space. You're gonna have to block off some time to actually get this done. Because the thing is, there is a not so smart part of us in our brain, the lazy side, who would rather just sit on the couch and watch Netflix because that's so easy to do and it's fun and it's relaxing. And in order to live the life that you want, and become the person that you want to be, you got to set yourself up for success. Basically, we are tricking ourselves to do what we got to do. Like, for example, for me, if I don't put my clothes out in the bathroom for the gym in the morning, I will not go to the gym. I will literally just wake up, walk around, and then lay back in bed and scroll on social media because I'm like, oh, it's fine. I don't have my clothes out, so I'll just stay in. But once I see my clothes, I'm like, okay, that's a cue that I gotta go to the gym. Okay, I gotta work out, because that lazy part of us is so automatic. Some essentials, supplies that you're gonna need. You're definitely gonna need a trash bag or a waste bucket, because there's gonna be a lot of things that you're gonna be throwing away. Throwing out the old, bringing in the new. New year, new me. You're gonna need a calendar, whether it's a digital calendar or a physical one or both. Okay, I have both because best of both worlds, so that you can keep track of things that you need to get done on a specific day at a specific time. You're gonna need some post-it notes. You're gonna need some plain paper. You're gonna need some pencils, some pens. You're gonna need some tea, something to help you relax, a diffuser, something to get you nice and focused. So this is the method that David Allen has coached to thousands of CEOs and business owners and regular people like you and me, of how to find relaxation and controlled knowledge work for productivity. So it's 5 stages for managing your workflow. Stage 1 is to collect. So you're going to collect anything that commands your attention. Number 2 is to process. So what do these things mean and what do we do about them? Number 3 is to organize the results, which then we will go to step 4 and we will review the options that we have to choose from. And number 5 is we're gonna do. So we're gonna take action. This is the diagram that he created, the workflow diagram for processing all your open loops that we got, okay? Actually created a Notion template to help me with this, and it has been super, super effective. So if you guys want to know how to create that or you need some guidance, let me know in the comments and I will love to share that with you guys. But we have the in basket. So the in basket is gonna be all your open loops. So you're literally just gonna toss everything in there. This is me in real life doing it. I literally cleared out my whole desk. I took all of the papers that I had laying around, all the sticky notes, any ideas that I would just write down and I would just throw it in there, my journals, my planners, and I put it all literally in an in basket. Any to-do reminders that I also had, I would put it into that Notion template so that I can process later on. You can also just write it down in a piece of paper and then just throw it in that in basket. Well, whatever works, whatever floats your boat, okay? So he also talks about these things called incomplete. So these are the things that have attached to it I should do, I need to do, I ought to do. So these are things that are incomplete because you don't know what the next action should be. I'll put up here an incomplete triggers list that he put in the book that has literally a list of everything that we could possibly think or not think of that may be stored up here. There's a lot of things that we have been collecting in our environment that just don't belong there. Like I said, I had a bunch of notes, I had a grocery list, I had some menus, I had a lot of things that I would just toss in there because I didn't know what to do with it. This is the time, 2025, new year, okay? We are going to start actually doing something about it and stop stressing. So I want to go over step by step what it is that you're going to be doing. And then later on in the video, I'll go more in depth on each one. But here we're in the collection process. So you're going to put all of your stuff in the in basket, and then you're going to decide what it is. So what is this stuff? Is it a government form? Is it a personal item? Is it for your side hustle? Then we're going to look at, is it actionable? You're going to decide yes or no. So if you see that it's something that it's really old, maybe it's a receipt, maybe it's some old notes that you had, or just a random papers, bills that you already paid that you no longer need, then you're going to decide if you're going to trash it. Maybe it's something that you're going to need for later. Then you're going to put it in the incubate, which is a someday maybe list, or maybe it's something that you can reference. And then if it's yes, if it's actionable, then you're going to decide, is it a project? Because if it's a project and it has multiple steps to it, then that's going to be totally separate. And then if it's not a project, then you're going to decide what is the next action. So is it something that you can do right now? Is it less than 2 minutes? Is it something that you have to delegate to somebody else who is better at that? Is it something that you want to do but you can't do it right now? If that's yes, which probably you'll have a lot of items that are going to be deferred, then you're going to decide if you want to either set it up in a calendar, decide what day you want to do it, and then block off time to focus on that, or if you want to add it to your next actions lists, which are going to be like your reminders whenever you have a gap in between your work, or if it's your day off, then you can go onto this next actions list and you can pick something off of there to work on instead of just overthinking and then not doing anything. And here is the collection process that I created with each of those steps in the diagram as my categories. Next thing I did was I started to organize. So I literally went through my in basket and I asked myself, when can I do this? When can I achieve this project? Is there a time this week that I can set some time and I can block it off to work on it? A quote from the book is, you don't actually do a project, you can only do action steps related to it. And I was like, it takes all that stress of your mind consuming all the things they have to do, how big this project is, and it's actually just focusing one step at a time. What's in front of you? What can you do next? So it's a lot more manageable, and I'm so grateful for this book. You're then going to organize any reference materials that you have for your projects. So this can be any notes that you've taken. Organize it by theme, by topic. So if you have worksheets, or if you have maybe some notes from a podcast or a book about a certain habit that you're trying to build, or about digital marketing, whatever it is, you're going to have a folder just for that. What I'm doing is I am creating a folder on Notion, and then I'm just typing all of that on there, or I'll take a picture of the paper that I have and then I'll upload it so I don't have so much papers. But if you're not an electronic person, go ahead, get yourself a storage thingy and then put some folders in there and divide it as you go. So just to put everything back together, what your week should be looking like is you're going to be checking your calendar, time blocks that you have made, what you have to get done and when. Then you should be looking at your next actions list to see what are the next actions that you have. Third thing is you're going to look at the projects list that you have, the someday maybe lists, and the waiting for lists. Just review everything so you don't have to keep wondering about things and when they're going to get done. Update your lists if there's any changes, you got something done, check it off. And there you have it. That is the method that is going to allow you to live your best life in 2025 and get things done and actually experience productivity stress-free. I really hope that this video helped you guys get one step closer to becoming your best self. And now you feel more relaxed, more focused, and more motivated to get those projects done, get rid of those open loops, and actually start taking action toward the goals that you have set for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay blessed.
Oh my, what a one.